targeting, I feel like it's something that we've been talking about for a long time, but it really seems to be taking hold in a really meaningful way. So certainly still a lot of interest in the use of third-party audience targeting data, but a lot of interest increasingly in the use of first-party client data.
Right.
So I see a lot of marketers leaning into this idea of using their own data to do targeting, to build segments. So that's one thing. I mean, certainly video is a very, very big deal.
Yep.
We're expecting very significant growth in the video ad space, particularly around long-form video, which creates a lot of ad pod opportunities. And then programmatic buying, I think, is a really big deal. I see a lot of growth in display, certainly, but I also see growth in video, in mobile. The Facebook exchange created a lot of paid social, real-time biddable inventory. So
Right.
that's something I'm very interested in.
Great.
With respect to the adoption of programmatic buying, and in the case of publishers, with respect to the adoption of programmatic selling, it feels like publishers are finally starting to lean in, but there really still seems to be quite a long way to go. It feels like the buy side really embraced it quite quickly, and even on the buy side, there's a long way to go. Many publishers still seem to be fairly reticent, but on the panel that I just moderated, having 4 publishers from very traditional kinds of companies up there talking about the opportunity for their own businesses with programmatic, certainly very encouraging. It's not just a theoretical discussion anymore, it's reality for some very big publishers. I feel like it's still not where we want it to be. I think we can all agree that the opportunity is really interesting, but it doesn't seem to be very significant in terms of the actual volume of spend and impressions that are flowing through private marketplace relationships. I'm not sure if it's just a change management thing, if it's buy-side reticence to, or maybe lack of effort in putting people against it. I'm not really sure what's holding us back, but it doesn't seem to be there yet. The biggest challenge is that mostly the ad placements themselves are not that great. They're not really mobile optimized. So there's a lot of excitement about mobile, but I'm not sure that there's enough attention being paid to the actual experience on mobile and making sure that whatever you build is something that's going to be useful to a user, interesting to a user, engaging. So simply taking what you know about display advertising and trying to slap that into the mobile ecosystem, I don't think is ultimately the right way to go.
Right.
It's obviously an enormous opportunity. The whole world's going mobile. That's how consumers are behaving.
Yep.
So we need to think about mobile first, mobile native kinds of opportunities. With respect to participating in the AdRev conference that programmatic is throwing, I mean, it's exciting for me as a person that thinks about the buy side to be involved in a big sell side event. I think the most important thing is conversation between buyers and sellers, and this is a great way for that to happen. It's also exciting to see some very, very big publishers attending events like this. Clearly that means that the sell side community is starting to lean into it.